Shalom. First and foremost, I want to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahawashi, Bahashim, Rachak, Wadash. Double honors unto the apostles, bishops, and elders of the great millstone who taught us this truth. Shalom also to the Akim, pushing this word in sincerity and in truth, and to the speckled birds scattered throughout the four corners of the world, and to the few sisters who are listening to you. I say Shalom. Lord willing, this will be an edifying lesson on the brother Khadashi from the GMS Chicago camp, coming back at you with another lesson through the Spirit. And as you can see, the title of the lesson, it says, why did Pontius Pilate say, what is truth? Or why Pontius Pilate said, what is truth? All right. And this comes from John, the 18th chapter. All right. And the reason why I want to get into this topic is because this statement that Pontius Pilate said, it exposes the Edomite mindset. And the reason why this is important is because this Roman mindset is what was revived after, that this was the Roman mindset that was revived by the Renaissance. Okay? This was the mindset that the Romans during the pagan Roman Empire had. Okay? And eventually, through the Renaissance, this same mindset was ultimately, put back into the earth through the wicked, which are the Edomites, man. Okay, so I just wanted to get into this topic, and Lord willing is edifying, man. Just doing some research on why exactly Pontius Pilate said what is truth, man. So let's get right into it. All right, this comes from John 18 and 37. It says, Pilate therefore said unto him, art thou a king then? Yahawashi answered, thou sayest that I am a king. To this end was I born, and for this cause came I into the world, that I should bear witness unto the truth. Everyone that is of the truth heareth my voice. Pilate saith unto him, what is truth? And when he had said this, he went out again unto the Jews, and saith unto them, I find in him no fault at all. So, as you can see, Pontius Pilate asked the question, what is truth? Okay, after Yahawashi told him that for this cause, this was why he came into the world, and it was to bear witness unto the truth. And we understand through the scriptures that Yahawashi is that truth, man. Okay, we understand through the scriptures that Yahawashi, like it says right here in John 1 and 14, it says, and the word was flesh and dwelt among us, and we beheld his glory, the glory as of the only begotten of the Father, full of grace and truth. So Yahawashi, the man who we know as Yahawashi, he was the word made flesh. He was the truth. Okay? But in the Roman mind, this didn't make sense. And we're going to explain in this lesson why. Because that statement exposes the Edomite mindset. Okay? And that mindset has been revived back in the earth through the Renaissance. Okay? These Edomites were not designed and programmed by the Lord to receive the truth, man. Okay? They were not. So what we as Hebrew Israelites understand, that Yahawashi is the word become flesh and he is the truth, because he even said it, man. He even said it out of his own mouth. Yahawashi said in John 14 and 6, it says, Yahawashi saith unto him, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man cometh unto the Father but by me. So Yahawashi boldly proclaimed that he was the truth, man. Okay? Which he wasn't lying, because he was the word become flesh. And what do we understand about the word? It tells you in John 17:17, says, sanctify them through thy truth. Thy word is truth. You see, so the truth is in the word, and this word was made flesh, okay? Who we know as Yahushai, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, okay? What he came to do here on earth was to bear witness unto the truth. And not only that, but to lay down his life for us so that he could save his people from their sins. And his people were the Israelites, which at this point in history, if you understand anything about prophecy, the Israelites at this point in history were under the Roman Empire, man. So prophetically, that's the fourth beast. Okay, and at the height of the Roman Empire, when Yahushua was on the scene, um, it was during an era known as Pax Romana. So during the era of Pax Romana, the Roman mindset was already fully matured, man. Because by this time, the Romans had already interacted with the Greeks, which both the Greeks and the Romans were Edomites, man. And once the Romans, integrated the into Greek, into Greek societies, and it became a Greco-Roman world, the Greeks ultimately influenced the Romans, and that's why, we get these ideas of stoicism, skepticism, okay, humanism. All right, all those ideas come from Greco-Roman philosophies, man. Okay, which Greco-Roman philosophies, in comparison to the 100% truth, fail. Okay, and that's exactly why Pontius Pilate, when he was in the face of absolute truth, when he was right there, face to face with Yahushai, who embodies the truth. He is the truth, man. Yahushai is the word made flesh. Yahushai is the truth. But see, in the Roman mind, him saying that he came to bear witness unto the truth, that didn't make sense. Why? Why did that not make sense? Why did Pontius Pilate say this, man? And first and foremost, before we get into why he said this, we got to understand that Pontius Pilate was an Edomite, man. Okay? These Edomites, first and foremost, we got to understand that these Edomites, like I said earlier, they were not programmed or designed by the Lord to receive the truth or to tell the truth. Okay? These Edomites, there is no truth in them. They're devils, man. Okay? They're devils. And before somebody gets all twisted up over the word devil, the word devil just simply means, like it says right here in the Greek, it comes from the Greek word diablos, which means prone to slander. Slanderous, accusing falsely, a calumniator, false accuser, a slanderer, metaphorically applied to a man who, by opposing the cause of Yahweh, may be said to act the part of the devil or to side with him. So a devil is somebody that slanders, somebody that lies, somebody that falsely accuses, man. And that's what these Edomites are. They're accusers, they're slanderers, they're liars. And that's what the wicked were created to do, man. That's their role in this great movie, for lack of better words, that the Lord has created. Okay, they're the bad guy. They're the wicked. Okay, but another thing you must understand is that the Lord allowed the wicked to rule the earth, man, for a small time period. And that's that's what we are experiencing right now, man. All right? We're at the revival of that fourth beast, but we're at the end of it. Okay, but let's get this real quick. This is Job 9:24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? Okay, so the earth was given into the hands of the wicked, man. So they have full, they were given that power, as it says in Revelation 6:4, to take peace from the earth. Okay, not only did they take peace from the earth through their conquests, through the sword, but also through their lies, man. The way that this devil has allowed his lies to cause a whole paradigm shift in the earth, it ultimately came from the Renaissance, man. Because after the Renaissance, what did these Edomites believe during the Renaissance? They believed in, supposedly they were pushing out, Catholicism and Christianity and so on and so forth. But eventually, when Edomites didn't really believe in that anymore, it led to the period of enlightenment in the late 1700s, man. Which, that period of enlightenment, that was really when, that Roman mindset of asking questions like, what is truth? That's really when that mindset was revived, man. During the late 1700s, man. Okay? Because at that time, a lot of Edomites all over Europe, they were having like a mass ego death, man. None of them, really trusted in the church or the authorities of the church, and everything was being flipped upside down, and people started so-called, the Edomites during that time period began to ultimately, basically put science on a pedestal. They began to put human reasoning, intellectualism, and philosophy, and all those different things. They began to explore those things again. Okay, and that was, again, like I said, the revival of this Roman mindset. And that's what has polluted the minds of the people here on earth, man. The wine of this devil, man. The whole earth is drunk because of the mindsets that are being pushed on the earth by the wicked, man. You see? But let me get this as well. This is Psalms 58:3. It says, the wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. Let's get another one. Okay, so the wicked are not designed to tell the truth, man. As soon as they be born, they go astray, speaking lies, man. So these devils, they are liars. They're slanderers. Okay, they're devils, man. Okay, they're liars. And not only that, but like it says right here in Psalms 73:9, it says, they set their mouth against the heavens, and their tongue walketh through the earth. So their lies are literally being perpetuated throughout the whole earth, man. Okay, but see, let's go back to when did this mindset really develop? Okay, because why did Pontius Pilate say, what is truth? Okay, we just went through what? The different scriptures to explain that these Edomites cannot receive the truth. Okay, as soon as they be born, they go astray, speaking lies. All right, and not only that, but the earth has been given into their hands. So now their lies are worldwide, man. You see? Their mindset, is all over the earth, man. It's terrible, man. And that's scriptural, because the scriptures say what? In the book of Ecclesiastes 10:1, or let's get verse 2, straight to the point. As the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers. And what manner of man the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein. So who's the man that is ruling Babylon the Great? The Edomites, man. And their mindset has polluted the minds, not only the minds of the American public, the people that dwell here, these Babylonians, but since America sits upon many waters and has influence over the whole earth, their mindset has gone throughout the whole earth, man. You see? And that's why people are sick and tired of this, man. Because these other nations that have drunk the wine of her fornication, they're mad. They realize that they're drunk, man. Okay? They realize that this whore has lied to them. You see? And, eventually that's going to lead, as we see currently the current geopolitical situation going on with Greenland and Nero trying to, Trump saying that he wants to go and take Greenland, and Denmark saying that that's going to be the end of NATO. You see, a lot of these different nations that are allied with America and that are in bed with America and that have drank the wine of her fornication, they're getting tired of this lying devil, man. Even though they themselves are Edomites, the scriptures say that their look was more stout than their fellows. So the way that America rules, the way that they think, the way that they are, is all of a revival of the prideful Roman mindset. Okay? It all goes back to that Roman mindset. And it's been revived right here in America, Babylon the Great, man. It's been perfected here. Okay? It's been perfected right here in America, Babylon the Great. This place is disgusting, man. The way that lies are catapulted to the forefront and the truth, it gets shadow banned and put all the way at the bottom. It's like, look, man, this is Rome all over again, man. This is folly, bro. Okay? And when you start to look at the Roman mind, man, they're into all kinds of folly, man. So I put in Chat GPT, why did Pontius Pilate say, what is truth? What was the Roman mindset towards the concept of truth? How did the Greek philosophy influence the Roman mindset? And how can we see that influence in Pilate's statement? So it says, Pontius Pilate's question, what is truth, is short, but it exposes an entire civilizational mindset, one shaped by Greek philosophy, absorbed and weaponized by Roman power, and standing in direct opposition to Hebraic biblical truth. So this is where a clash of mindsets happen, man. Because here it is, Yahushai, who is the truth. All right, he is the truth. He is the word made flesh. And he's standing before an Edomite who believes, in skepticism, who believes in Greek philosophy, who believes in, all these different Roman gods. So when a real, when he's in the face of real truth, the absolute truth, the word become flesh, and he hears Yahushua say that he came to bear witness unto the truth. In the Roman mind, this did not make sense. Why? Why did it not make sense? Because these devils were influenced by Greek philosophy, man. And why? Why were they allowed? Why did the Lord allow these devils to get influenced by Greek philosophy, by all these different lies? Is because they are the Edomites, man. They're the wicked. And the Lord said that, like it says right here in Genesis 3:14, real quick, and the Lord God said unto the serpent, because thou hast done this, thou art cursed above all cattle and above every beast of the field. All right, which if you are not if you don't know prophetically, Esau, Edom is the reincarnation of the serpent in the garden. That's why in Revelation 20 it calls him that old serpent. You see? And we understand that when it talks about the dragon, that old serpent, Satan, in the book of Revelation is talking about the Roman Empire, man. You see? So the Edomites, they are the reincarnation of that of that man in the garden, that serpent, man. Okay? That same spirit that was in that man, the serpent. All right, because the serpent wasn't an actual snake. It was a man. You see? But the spirit inside the serpent is the same spirit that was in Cain. It was the same spirit that's in Esau, Edom today, man. A satanic, perverse devilish, slanderous, lying spirit, man. You see, and when the Lord cursed the serpent, look at what the Lord cursed the serpent with. It says, "Upon thy belly shalt thou go, and dust shalt thou eat all the days of thy life." And ultimately, dust represents confusion, man. You see, so the Lord cursed these devils to never be able to actually get the truth, man. Here it is. These Edomites are going to eat dust all the days of their life, but we're eating the true bread from heaven, man. These Edomites are eating dust. That's why when the Greeks began to get into all these different philosophies, which really the Greeks got their philosophies from the Egyptians, man, from the Hamites. Okay? So once these Greeks started to get into all this philosophy and explore all these different ideas and then make them popular through Hellenization, that was the paradigm that was, perpetuated in that time. And that's why by the time the Romans came around, it was all bugged out, man. The Romans had completely developed that Greek philosophy. They absorbed it and they weaponized it, man. You see? They were eating dust, man. Confusion, just straight folly, bro. Everything that these Greek and Roman philosophers have pushed into the world is nothing but folly, man. It does not lead to everlasting life. And it's no real truth in Greek philosophy, man. There's no real truth in stoicism. And look, man, if you want to be a real stoic, read the scriptures, man. That's where the Stoics get their quotes from. They get their quotes from the scriptures, man. You see? But let me get this real quick, because I that's so spiritual that the serpent was cursed to eat dust all the days of their life. They were cursed with confusion, man. They were not allowed to receive the truth. But we, the Israelites, who are the children of God, the children of God, of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, we're being allowed to eat the bread from heaven, which is Yahweh Shai, man. Look at this. It says right here in John 6:32, it says, "Then Yahweh Shai said unto them, Verily, verily, I say unto you, Moses gave you not that bread from heaven, but my Father giveth you the true bread from heaven. For the bread of God is he which cometh down from heaven and giveth life unto the world," which Yahweh Shai is that bread. You see? He's that bread that which came down from heaven to give life unto the world. Which world? The world of Israel, man. I bet the word for world right here is cosmos. It is, man. All right? So that world that Yahweh Shai is speaking on is the world of Israel. That's who this bread was given unto, man. The bread of life, the bread that came from heaven. So I just, I thought that was spiritual right there, man. Because us, the Israelites, we have access back to the tree of life, man. And we also have access to the meat of this tree of life, man. We have access to the truth. But the serpent, the serpent, it was cursed with eating dust all the days of their life. And when that serpent, the spirit in that serpent was reincarnated through Cain and then through Esau, Edom, you finally see what it looks like, man. It looks like a bunch of confusing, dusty ass philosophies that make no sense. There's no truth in them, and they're all lies, man. Esau be thinking that civilization started when the Greeks began conquering the earth. No, man. There was already cities on earth before the Greeks, man. But, Edomites are obsessed with fucking other Edomite empires, man. They laud over fucking Plato and, all these different Greek philosophers, man. But it's all folly, bro. It's all confusion. It's not real truth. Okay? And that's why when Yahweh Shai said that he came to bear witness unto the truth, in the Roman mind, that did not make sense. Because in his mind, by Greek philosophy through the idea of skepticism. In his mind, he's like, well, truth cannot be, truth is unknowable because look, the Greeks influenced the Romans, man. It says right here, Greek philosophy's influence on Rome. It says Rome conquered Greece militarily, but Greece conquered Rome intellectually. You see, and the knowledge that the Greeks had was from the Hamites, from the Egyptians, man. Okay? Look at what it says. It says the Roman elite were educated almost entirely in Greek philosophy, which Pontius Pilate would fall under that, man. Because Pontius Pilate, I believe he was like what was he, like a governor or something? Let's look it up. Let's go to the commentaries. But best believe that Pontius Pilate was amongst that group, man. You see? He wasn't in a low-level position. Okay? Let me see. So people like, Pontius Pilate, they were educated, so-called, in Greek philosophy, man. So the ideas that flowed through their mind and the thoughts that they would think of, it all was, surrounding the influence of Greek philosophy, man. You see? And what were the ideas of Greek philosophy? It says key Greek ideas that shaped Rome. Sophism, which is truth as relative. So truth is constructed. Persuasion matters more than reality. Language creates truth. This directly feeds Pilate's cynicism. It says skepticism. Truth is unknowable. Greek skeptics like Pyrrho taught absolute truth cannot be known. Certainty is illusion. Suspension of judgment is wisdom. Pilate embodies this. He hears truth incarnate, shrugs it off as unknowable. So as you could see, this is why, to the Roman mind, it made zero sense. First and foremost is because they're Edomites, they're devils, and they as soon as they be born, they go astray speaking lies. And also the Lord cursed these devils, man, to eat dust all the days of their life. They're not even allowed to receive the truth, man. So any other idea that's being given unto them by the world, for example, like the Greeks, when they found out that Hamite knowledge and started getting into all that Hamite philosophy, these Greeks took those Hamite gods and made fucking Greek gods, man. It's all folly, bro. It's just a bunch of confusion and idolatry and stupidity, man. That's why fucking Edomites today be saying shit like truth, you can't really know the truth, or absolute truth cannot be known. That man, shut the fuck up, man. You fucking Edomites. How about that? Here it is. Pontius Pilate was in the face of the truth. Yahushua he is the truth, man. And this devil said, what is truth? And we know why, man. It's because these fucking Edomites are ultimately, a bunch of just, they just be, so-called, they think they're educated, but really they're just into a bunch of folly, man. All right? It's just a bunch of folly, bro. Because skepticism has led to a bunch of weird philosophies, man. Especially now, bro. Some of the things that people be talking about nowadays in these podcasts is like, man, let me just turn this off, man. I don't even want to listen to this, bro. But it says right here, Stoicism. It says emotional detachment from truth. Stoics believed that truth is abstract. Personal detachment is virtue. Moral responsibility is internal, not relational. This allowed Roman officials to commit atrocities without guilt. Pilate washes his hand, a perfectly stoic act. I am innocent of this man's blood. And, which, look, man, These Edomites are still gonna pay for what they did, man. All right. These Edomites, their different philosophies allows them to feel more comfortable in their bugged out mind. Okay. That's why they love Greek philosophy so much, man. Okay, and that Greek philosophy was absorbed by the Romans and then weaponized by them. So by the time you get to the Gospels, that's why Pontius Pilate said, "What is truth, man?" You see? It says, and this is the contrast between Hebrew versus Greek or Greco-Roman truth. This is where Pilate completely fails to understand Yahushua, which Pilate, no matter how hard he tried to ponder on what Yahushua said, Yahushua told him the answer. And when he gave him his answer, it says right here, let me read it again. John 18 and 37. Pilate therefore said unto him, Art thou a king then? Yahushua answered, Thou sayest that I am a king. To this end was I born, and for this cause came I into the world, that I should bear witness unto the truth. Everyone that is of the truth heareth my voice. So Yahushua right there and then tells him who's going to be able to actually hear his voice, and it's those that are of the truth. Only the ones that are of the truth are going to hear his voice. And that's why, Pontius Pilate, no matter how long he stood there and tried to ponder the words of Yahushua, he was never going to be able to receive what Yahushua was putting down, because he's not of the truth. He's a fucking Edomite, bro. You see? So it makes perfect sense why he said, what is truth? He had a fucking Greco-Roman mindset, bro. He believed in ideas such as skepticism, stoicism, sophism. You see? These Romans were Edomites, man. And they didn't believe in truth. They didn't believe in the Holy Scriptures. They believed in Greco-Roman gods, man. And they, not only that, did they believe in Greco-Roman gods, but they had their own different philosophies, man. These Edomites are bugged out, bro. Stay away from these Edomites, man. These devils, they could believe in Buddhism one day, then next week they're a Christian, then a month after that they're a fucking atheist, and then before you know it, right at the end of December, at the turn of the fucking winter, they has become a whole fucking Catholic. It's fucking confusing, man. And it's because they're Edomites, bro. These Edomites are not meant to preach the truth or receive the truth or know the truth, and it's because they're carnal. All right? If a two-third Israelite can't receive the truth, how much more an Edomite that the Lord has said, the Lord said these are the people of his curse, man. These are the people who the Lord has indignation against forever, man. And you really think they're going to receive the truth? Hell no. They're Edomites, man. And let me get this real quick, because one thing about these Edomites, man, is that they're carnal, bro. And the scriptures say this. It says, 1 Corinthians 2 and 14, but the natural man receiveth not the things of the Spirit of God, for they are foolishness unto him. Neither can he know them, because they are spiritually discerned. So a natural man cannot receive the truth. Okay? This truth is spiritually discerned. That has to be revealed unto you by the Spirit, man. You see? And these Edomites are not concerned with anything spiritual, man. These Edomites, when they hear the truth in its entirety, 100% preached, when they hear us singing the new song, it sounds like foolishness unto them. They're like, man, that's not Christianity. That's not what JC said. Because you're an Edomite. You don't understand what the Bible says, man. Go be a fucking skeptical fucking Edomite Christian somewhere else, nigga. You're a fucking natural man. You can't receive the things of the Spirit of God. You're an Edomite. You're the wicked. You were not created to receive the truth, man. Okay? Look at what it says right here in Wisdom of Solomon 2 and verse 22. It says, as for the mysteries of God, they know them not. Neither hoped they for the wages of righteousness, nor discerned a reward for blameless souls. So these Edomites, which are the wicked, they cannot know the mysteries of God. They do not know the mysteries of God. And not only that, but they are carnal men, so they can't even receive the things of the Spirit of God. And on top of that, their foolishness unto him. So when Yahushua said that he came to bear witness of the truth, in Pontius Pilate's mind, he's like, man, what is truth? Yeah, you fucking idiot. You're an idiot, man. Pontius Pilate was a fucking Roman idiot, bro. A Roman idiot that was so-called educated in Greek philosophy. Yeah, you're a fucking idiot, man. You're an Edomite. All right? Now let's get into this part. It says Hebrew concept of truth, which truth is not a concept, bro. All right? That's another thing too. All these different words in the fucking English dictionary, man. The concept of the truth. Nah, man. The truth is not a concept, bro. The truth is real. And the truth is the word, man. And the word was made flesh. Talking about the concept of truth. Man, get out of here, man. Sometimes ChatGPT be pissing me off, bro. You know? But let me just get down over here to what the Greek Roman concept of truth is. It says truth is to the Romans was philosophical. It was abstract. It was debated endlessly, disconnected from obedience. Pilate hears truth and thinks which version. Yahushua says, I am the truth. That statement destroys Greek philosophy. Truth is not an idea, it's a person backed by divine authority. And that's heavy, man. Because to the Greeks, these Edomites, they believed truth was just an idea. But no, man. Truth is Yahushua. And not only that, but Yahushua is meant to be honored and praised. You see? We're supposed to honor the Son, man. Because he is backed by the highest divine authority, Yahweh the Father, man. The one who created this existence that you see before you, man. And no matter what philosophy you study, it's never going to give you the truth of this reality, man. If you want the truth of this reality, you got to read the Hebrew scriptures, man. That's the 100% truth. You see? And that 100% truth was, came down as a man. That truth, that word became flesh, man. And he lived a life. Okay? He preached the word. And not only that, but he laid down his life for us, man. This is why I hate Greek philosophy, man. They always want to conceptualize ideas and make it into this abstract. No, bro. Fuck all that shit, man. Fuck the Greeks. Fuck the Greek philosophy, man. It's a bunch of folly, bro. And that's why the gospel gets down to the root of every Greek thoughts and mindset and philosophy and Roman mindset that was being pushed in the city of Corinth, in the city of Ephesus, in the city of Galatia. Okay? That's why when the gospel was being preached in those different areas, it was getting down to the root of the different sicknesses that our people had in the mind, because they were being influenced by the Greco-Roman mindsets. These ideas of skepticism, these ideas of, loving philosophy and going after wisdom, but they were going after the wrong wisdom. They were going after wisdom that was being pushed by the Greeks and the Romans, which were Edomites. Okay? But no, man. This gospel points us back to Yahweh through his son Yahushai. This gospel is very, is very, how do I put it? It gets straight to the answer, man. Yahushua is the truth. Okay? And that's not an argument, bro. That's the truth, man. Okay? That's not something to be debating over. That's not something to be arguing about. No, Yahushua is the truth, man. And we are to worship him. This is what John 5 and 22 says. It says, "For the Father judgeth no man, but has committed all judgment unto the Son, that all men should honor the Son, even as they honor the Father. He that honoreth not the Son honoreth not the Father which has sent him." So we know that we are supposed to honor Yahweh, man. But because in the Greek mind, they made truth an idea, to them it doesn't really how do I put it? It doesn't really compute in their mind. It doesn't really it doesn't really hit them. They can't really receive when or understand when Yahweh said that he came to bear witness to the truth. And it's because their philosophies, man, the things that they believed in, to them, truth was an idea. But unto us, the Hebrew Israelites, truth is Yahweh. And we worship Yahweh, man. So right here it says, let's get to this. We're gonna close out the lesson in a bit, but it says right here how Pilate's statement reflects Greek Roman influence. It says Pilate's words reveal skepticism, truth can't be known, relativism, which everyone claims truth, pragmatism, which truth doesn't matter if it causes unrest, power over principle, Caesar matters more than justice. This is why Pilate caves when the Israelites say, "If thou let this man go, thou art not Caesar's friend." Roman truth bends to political survival. All right, and that reminds me of the commentary of what is said about Pontius Pilate. Because when you click on the commentary in John 18 for David Guzik, when you get to that part of when Pontius Pilate said that, I like what this guy what he brought out. Sometimes the commentaries are good. It's good. Look, sometimes it's good, but then other times you gotta watch out, man. Apostle Tahar, he be going into the commentaries, man. Okay, but sometimes you gotta be careful, okay? Because if you're not studying, enough, some things could be completely off, and then you might take it as the truth. So just be careful, man. All right, but sometimes it's good to go in these commentaries and be bringing out heavy information. But this part, I want to get this part real quick because it says right here, it says, what is truth? It says Pilate's cynical question showed he thought Yahushua's claim to be a king of truth was foolish. So as you could see in Pilate's Greco-Roman mind, he didn't really understand what Yahushua was saying. That's why he said, "What is truth?" Okay? This was an Edomite, bro. Okay? They were under delusions, believing lies, and exploring ideas like skepticism and Stoicism and Sophism and all these different philosophies. So Pilate's mind was cooked, bro. Pontius Pilate's mind was so cooked, so extremely cooked, that when the absolute truth was in front of him, this man said, "What is truth?" Man, these are Edomites, man. But it says right here, probably Pilate did not mean that there was no truth, but that there was no truth in the kind of spiritual kingdom Yahushua represented. For Pilate, soldiers and armies were truth. Rome was truth. Caesar was truth, and political power was truth. You see that? So as you can see, to the Edomites, it's about what they see. It's about what they, what's before them that they take as the truth, man. All right. So to them, Rome was the truth. Caesar was the truth. Political power was the truth. Okay. It says Pilate knew his business, and to discuss the nature of truth formed no part of it. You see? So Pontius Pilate, who was a Roman, an Edomite, by the way, he didn't really care what truth is all about, man. Okay? It says it was a way of dismissing the subject. Pilate has learned what he wants to know. Yahushua is no revolutionary. He represents no danger to the state. He may be safely released, and indeed he ought in common justice to be released. Right? That's what the commentary is saying or whatever. But because Pontius Pilate was asking questions to Yahushua, but when Pontius Pilate, basically saw that there was really no fault in him, he wasn't trying to do that, man. But the Jews in the audience were crying to crucify him, man. All right, which fulfilled the scriptures. So it says right here, what is truth? It says, many in our day ask Pilate's question, but from a different perspective, blah, 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 blah. I'm not even going to read all that. But, I just wanted to get into this topic, man, because I thought it was very interesting that Pontius Pilate said that. And then I started to actually research it. Like, man, why did this devil really say that, man? Like, why did he actually say that? And then when I started to do the research, I'm like, wow, man, this makes sense. These are the Edomites, bro. It made me think about how the Edomites are estranged from the womb and they go astray speaking lies. It made me think about Revelation or the book of Genesis 3 and 14 when the Lord cursed the serpent and said that they're going to eat dust all the days of their life. So it makes sense why these Edomites love these Greek philosophies, man. Why they feel comfortable in ideas such as skepticism, with ideas such as truth cannot be known. Okay? It's funny, bro. These Edomites are through, man. They're literally eating dust, confusion, man. But we're eating the bread that came down from heaven. We're eating the truth, man. And we're being built up by it. Okay? Just to show you, man, the difference in mindsets. These are Edomites, man. Edomites go and say shit like, truth can't be known. You're fucking idiots, man. Okay? But it says right here, prophetic significance. Pilate represents the Gentile world system. No, he doesn't, man. Okay? Or really, you could say, you could kind of say that, because these different empires that are ruling in the earth and that ruled in the history of the world, they were ultimately set up by the Lord to rule until their time is fulfilled, and then they're going to be taken down, man. All right. And Esau Edom represents the end of that Gentile natural heathen, the actual heathen rulership on earth, man. Because the Edomites, they're the end of the world. Okay, they're the end of this current age. Okay, so they would be at the forefront of rulership at the end. Okay, they would be at the forefront of all the power structures that are ruling the earth right now, especially America, Babylon the Great. Okay, and this Roman mindset of, that was influenced by the Greeks, this mindset has been revived back in the earth through the Renaissance, man, which was prophecy. Okay, the Lord allowed these devils to be loosed a little season to go and deceive, the nations that are in the four corners of the earth, to bring that World War III, man, to bring the end. Okay, so these Edomites, they're being set up, man. Okay, and when you start to do the research on their different philosophies and the things that they believe and their mindsets, it's retardation, man. Straight up. Okay, it says final summary. Pilate asked, what is truth? Because Rome did not believe in absolute truth. Edomites, man. It says Greek philosophy taught skepticism and relativism. I can't really say that word. Relativism. Relativism. You know what I'm trying to say, man. All right. It says power mattered more than righteousness. Truth without authority was meaningless to him. He stood face to face with truth incarnate and dismissed it. Wow, man. These are Edomites, bro. You know? And I also asked the question, can you show how the Hebrew mindset towards truth clashed with the Roman mindset after the gospel began to be preached in the different regions by the disciples of Yahushua to Israelite converts in different Roman Greek cities? And I could get that into that in another lesson, Lord willing. But that was the topic of the lesson, man. I went to go research why Pontius Pilate said what is truth. And I was like, wow, man, I need to make a lesson on this, man. These are Edomites, bro. You know? Because when I first read the scriptures and I came across this scripture where Pontius Pilate asked what is truth, I always, I always thought to myself, like, why would he say that though? And I never actually looked it up. I never actually did the research on it. But it was always in the back of my mind, like, why did he say that, man? And now that I actually did the research on it, it makes sense why he said that, man. He was an Edomite in a Greco-Roman mind that believed in ideas like skepticism and things like absolute truth cannot be known. So it makes sense why this devil said, what is truth, man? Okay? They were feasting on dust. They were in confusion, man. All right? Just straight folly was being pushed in the Greco-Roman world, man. All right? So with that, Lord willing, this was an edifying lesson. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Ruach Kodash. Double honors unto the apostles, bishops, and elders of the great millstone who taught us this truth. Shalom and Abba Babal. Wakwam Yasharallah.